The Internet, explained by Ali. The Internet is a connection of computers, servers, and other such objects which serves to allow information to easily be transferred over electrical signals. One could easily make the claim that most human beings born into the modern world do not understand the Internet, even though it intrudes into all corners of society. Originally developed by university students and later adapted by defense agencies for security purposes, the Internet has now expanded into a new form that allows people across the world to communicate with each other seamlessly. The creation of the Internet cannot be accredited to one person and was instead a collaborative effort. Some notable figures that helped in its creation are Tim Berners-Lee, creator of the World Wide Web, and Al Gore, who is often wrongly credited with the invention of the entire Internet. He actually played a role in popularizing it and allocating more funds to the creation of ARPANET, the precursor to the Internet. It has taken to new heights, and in the early 21st century expanded into every corner of life in the developed and undeveloped world. The Internet has allowed for the creation of social media, online shopping, online learning platforms, and much more. Because of the Internet, people can learn whatever they want and share whatever they want, whenever they want. Though the Internet has created many problems, division and depression are now more pervasive than ever. The Internet has created two main problems, the first and most prominent of which is that of depression and low self-esteem. People now are convinced, especially young people, that things like the unachievable body standards and ridiculous amounts of wealth that are routinely put on display on platforms like Instagram and Twitter are normal and should be expected. Because of this, they attempt to achieve these things, and when they fail, they end up being more and more depressed, which causes others around them to feel worse and worse, making the problem self-propagating. The amount of racism and bigotry prevalent on platforms like 4chan and Reddit is also a very large problem faced by young people especially. There is lots of hatred towards women, men, LGBTQ people, Muslims, Christians, and basically any other group of people that society has deemed to be undesirable. The Internet allows for echo chambers to easily be created, which only makes it more easy to divide society between people who believe increasingly more and more ridiculous things. This ultimately leads to bullying, depression, and suicide, and people fighting over who is more wrong rather than who is more correct all across the Internet. The second of these problems is that of security. Seeing as the Internet can be used as both a tool or weapon for criminals and terrorists, they can use the darknet, a subsurface area of the Internet, containing the majority of its information that is usually inaccessible from the conventional web, in order to achieve their malicious goals. On the dark web, terrorists can plot their attacks. People can buy and sell drugs, guns, and even other people. An example of one of these sites would be the Silk Road, which operated in the early 2010s and received much fanfare and media attention, and helped to launch the dark web drug trade to new heights. When it was taken down, it only allowed the other sites to take its place, which led to the system that exists today, where when one marketplace is taken down, two or more pop up in that marketplace's place. The evidence presented in this essay could be used to argue that the Internet has been a net negative on society in the short term in the 21st century. Because of the invention of social media and the emergence of cyberbullying and the unstoppable spread of hate speech, the rates of suicide and depression amongst teenagers especially have gone up as people lose self-esteem. As well as this, the Internet has allowed for increased industrialization, which, it could be argued, has harmed more than it has helped the environment and human health. The impact on the environment is so great that nearly a whole percent of all carbon emissions on Earth are only for the rendering and exporting of YouTube videos. It could also be argued that the Internet and the inventions that have come from it have made the world a more dangerous place, as people who have extremist and violent views can now more easily connect in the network, whereas a group would not have been able to gain enough traction in the past with telephone and mail communication systems. A great example of this would be the January 6th attack on the Capitol, where people who met on 4chan met on the steps of the United States Capitol building in order to overthrow the government and reinstate the previous president, Donald Trump, as President of the United States. Overall, one could make the claim that though the internet has provided the world a means of communication faster and more convenient than any other, the problems it has brought with it have outweighed the benefits of this great and terrible